Welcome back from the break, Rams. I am Jared Stratton, here to catch you up on what's going on in CSU athletics. Yesterday, the men's basketball team took on ranked number 6 Nevada with a much closer game than last time. Now, this game was much more intense than the score shows. After Nevada's Jordan Caroline scored 30 points in the first half, CSU had to make adjustments to counter his play. And in fact, after the game, Nico Medved said he hoped he'd never have to play Jordan Caroline again. After they contained him in the second half, CSU's comeback was in full effect to the point where CSU was only down by 3 points in the second half. But after numerous fouls called on CSU, the momentum started to shift back in Nevada's favor, and since Nevada was deadly from the charity stripe, shooting 80%, each foul was a huge blow to the Rams. Tyron Edwards even fouled out in the last few minutes of the game with a flagrant followed by a technical. On the bright side, though, CSU held their own yesterday with 4 of their players breaching double digits. Nico Carvacho showed why he's a top NCAA rebounder with 17 rebounds, which included 24 points and 3 blocks. He is also 19 rebounds away from becoming the top rebounder in CSU history. This impressive play was backed up by Adam Thistlewood and Anthony Bonner, making 8 threes for the Rams. Playing this good of a team makes much less room for error, and with this loss, CSU falls to 9-14 on the season, which their sights on the border war this Saturday at Laramie, Wyoming against the Cowboys. Yesterday was a national signing day for the high school athletes, and head coach Mike Bobo spent a good portion of his offseason trying to go after recruits to convince them to attend CSU. He managed to rally in 4 players yesterday, which pushes this signing class to 19 players. In the winter, the Rams were able to sign Hall of Famer Champ Bailey's son, as well as 14 others. But regarding yesterday, the Rams officially signed running back Tyrese Jackson, linebacker Tavian Brown, offensive lineman Nurin Nuili, and running back Christian Hunter. Christian Hunter was an intriguing signing, considering he was only a 2-star recruit, but also led the nation with 3,839 yards and 55 touchdowns. He was also averaging 10.1 yards per carry. He averaged more than a first down every single time he touched the ball. After all of these players came into CSU, Mike Bobo let fans know what they offered.
We addressed some needs up front with the offensive line, to address some needs at receiver, with bringing in 4 receivers when you lose 2 guys like Preston Williams and B.C. Johnson, and then at the defensive back position. It's been an area that we've been down in numbers the last couple of years because of some attrition, but I feel like we got some quality guys at that position.
If CSU can properly use Christian's talents as well as the rest of this recruiting class, CSU is looking at a bounce-back year. CSU's schedule was already released, so we'll have to see this Rams team and how they adjust their schemes for these upcoming games. After looking at the future of the Rams, it's only right that we look to the past. And the recent Hall of Fame induction of John Mattot is a perfect example. He was an impressive 40 years of coaching experience, and what he did with CSU as a swim and dive coach cannot be understated. He is the most well-known for the revival of Amy Van Dyke's career. She was right about to give up on swimming when John Mattot pushed her to try it one more time. She later became the first ever national champion for CSU and a 5-time gold medalist in the Olympics. John Mattot also helped coach for the USA Olympic team, making him one of the top swimming coaches of not only his generation, but by far the best CSU has ever had. Although he has been retired, he has also been volunteering as an assistant coach for Woodard the past 3 years. He will officially be inducted, though, into the ASCA Hall of Fame on September 5th with 4 other coaches. Now what all of you have been waiting for, the 1-minute challenge. The 1-minute challenge is where I fit in all the professional sports news into 1 minute or less. So let's get that timer started. Today was the NBA trade deadline that not only was headlined by a lot of people, but it was not Anthony Davis. Some top players that were traded were Markelle Fultz going to the Magic, Marc Gasol being traded to the Rockets and for Jonas Valanciunas, Mike Muscala and Reggie Bullock going to the Lakers, with Lonzo Ball staying with the Lakers for now, Brendan Knight to the Cavaliers, and Tobias Harris to the 76ers. Now that sounds like a lot, but that's a lot. That was about only half the trades that went down. Now with the Rockies, Nolan Arenado signed with the Rockies last week to the 1-year, $26 million deal with with NFL, Pat Bowlen and Champ Bailey finally made it to the Hall of Fame. Antonio Brown is still unsigned, and there are reports of a domestic dispute he's been involved with, but the NFL is looking into it. Juju Smith-Schuster related this whole situation to a Kardashian episode, which really isn't that wrong. Speaking of the Steelers, Le'Veon Bell will probably be a franchise tagged again and traded to a different team. And since they have James Conner, it doesn't really matter. With the future coming up with the NFL, Kyler Murray has officially attended the NFL Combine. He will officially attend it, and his pro day will take place on the first day of free agency. And I'm going to cut the college one because I almost ran out of time there, but I'll do better next time, I promise. Well, that's all the time I have for today, but make sure to check CTV on Twitter and YouTube for the latest in CSU athletics. But don't leave just yet. After the break, we'll tell you where you can find the best cookies in town.